All right, a very good morning to you. It is how many minutes past? 7 minutes past 8. But that tells you that we're slightly late, but here we are. The show is Your World. My name is Winnie Lubebe, and today we're going to have a very interesting conversation, and it's all about pregnancy. And it's all about behind the bump. And I'm pretty sure if you are on social media, you have seen this where, you know, those cute, what is it called? Photo shoots, right? You see this woman looking lovely, during the photo shoots. But what you don't know is there's usually a story behind that cute photo shoot or the bump, all right? So today we just want to go back and look at the realities, as far as pregnancy is concerned. And of course, we have amazing ladies who will share their story with you. And if you are maybe a first-time mom, maybe you're pregnant right now, and of course you're watching us this morning and thinking, where? Please tell me more, okay? Or if you're planning to have a baby sometime, then you need to stick around until the end of the show to really understand, the truth behind pregnancy. And this is as far as what nobody tells you, okay, about a pregnancy. And that is actually the question that we're asking you today. Very, very simple question. And that is, what weren't you told about a pregnancy, all right? And this is not just a question for the ladies, but also for the men as well, okay? What is it that you were never told as far as pregnancy is concerned, and the symptoms and the whole journey in itself? The hashtag to use is Your World. So again, at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and Twitter is how you can reach us. But if you want to call in live and share your experience and share your journey as well, again, our lines are open. But the question is very simple. What weren't you told about pregnancy, all right? And I can see a number of you have a lot to say already on our socials. And okay, this is Godwin. Godwin, are you just messing up this morning? He says, my friend told me about her sister's pregnancy. Was it yours? Or someone else's? All right. And then someone says that pregnancy who make a girl look matured wakati ameanza kujitegemea after being heartbroken, anaona hakuna otherwise. Okay. And then someone else says, hashtag Your World. This is Omwi Chuklu. Here, Watimona says, hashtag Your World, hyperemesis gravidarum almost killed me during my pregnancy. Nilikonda nkabaki mifupa mikavu. Boy. And of course, again, stick around because we'll also touch on the same, because one of my guests also had, the same, that is during her pregnancy. But the question, like I said, is very simple. What weren't you told about pregnancy is what we want to know. So without further ado, and enough of me talking, introducing my guest, and on my immediate left, this is left, right? Dr. Joanne Okemo, consultant, obstetrician, and gynecologist at Aga Khan University Hospital. Dr. It's so good to see you again. Is it after a year, right?
About so, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, and of course we have Elizabeth Franklin, founder, Hyperemesis Gravidarum Foundation Africa. It's so good to have you this morning. Karibu sana, we've never met, so it's good to see you and to have you this morning. And of course also Apondi Eve. It's so weird for me to call you Apondi Eve because I'm not used to that, right? But a journalist and content creator, and of course my friend, it's so good to have you this morning. You all look lovely, like there's a memo going on, all the colors and all those things. You look absolutely lovely. So it's good to have all of you this morning. But Dr. let me just start with you very quickly. Pregnancy, let's just start from there. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it sounds exciting. When you think about it, I want to have a baby at some point and all those things. When I get pregnant, I want to do like all those cute, photo shoots and whatnot. But behind that, there's a lot that goes on. So can we just start from the basics, really understanding pregnancy and everything that comes with it?
Well, okay, where do I start?
The side. Yeah.
Everyone is excited when they get pregnant. Or most people are excited when they get pregnant because it's something that majority look forward to.
Sure.
There are those situations that catch you unaware and you're caught in it and you wonder what to do. But most times people are happy about pregnancy, and the journey is really different for everyone. Everyone has their own path. There are people who have a very simple pregnancy and complicated, easy peasy,
Right.
In fact, some even are not aware they're pregnant until, way when the baby is starting to kick, that's when they feel, like, oh, okay, there's something there. Yeah. But then there are those ones who, from the very beginning, it's a tough journey with lots of hills and valleys, throughout, and you just have to maneuver your way throughout it and walk the journey with people who can share, you know, the experience with you.
Absolutely. And I'll come back to you to really understand why do there's some people just have like very easy pregnancies and others have, you know, difficult pregnancies. And there are some things that you can do, because me, if you ask me, I want to have like a smooth pregnancy, you know.
Everyone wants a smooth one.
Right?
Yes.
But then some things just happen and they are beyond you. But again, we'll look deeper into the same. And again, Eve, I saw you smiling when Dr. was like, you know, sometimes you don't even know that you're pregnant until.
Oh, well, mine was a different story.
Yeah.
And you know, when it comes to pregnancy, there's, okay, before you get pregnant, there's the perception bit of it, and there's the reality bit of it.
Yeah.
And the reality bit of pregnancy is not a walk in the park.
Yeah. What was your perception before?
Of course, you know, you're looking forward to taking very beautiful pics and dressing up your body, your bump, you know, be that shining lady, you know, mama, and you want everyone to look, you know, up to you, and they're like, hey, that lady's looking so good.
We always joke about this and say, me, when I get pregnant, even the first month, where there's no stomach, I'll force issues, be like, it's here for everybody to see. So I understand what you're saying.
Yes, it was so different for my case, because you know, these stories that people say that, hey, when you're pregnant, you're supposed to look good.
Yeah,
dress up. Yeah, make sure you make your hair. You have to look good. But mine was totally different.
The opposite.
It was opposite. I used to wear very baggy trousers, very baggy t-shirts. My hair was so unkempt. My first and second trimester was so bad.
It was not easy.
Yeah, at least towards the third trimester, then things started getting better, and I would dress up, make my hair, and do makeup. Yeah, but it was a whole lot of very challenging journey.
Yeah. I mean, I know it because I was there. But but there's a very interesting story even before, you know, the glam, where you were able to sort of put yourself together. There's a very interesting story before that. Number one, you didn't know you were pregnant until what, 3 months in?
I did.
Yeah. And then the what is it called? You have twins. Beautiful, beautiful girls. So that what is it called? The duration at which they were conceived is also interesting, and we're gonna find out if that is okay to share, right? But Elizabeth, for you, first pregnancy, you have 2 babies, right?
Yes.
So first pregnancy, bearable. I don't want to say easy peasy, or
bearable.
was it bearable?
Let's talk about bearable.
But the second one was hoof.
Oh my goodness, yes.
It was a lot.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
The first one, okay, it was like clockwork. I didn't even know I was pregnant.
Okay.
It's the fact that I went to eat something and suddenly I don't even want it. Suddenly I'm vomiting. I don't even understand what is going on.
Yeah.
And so I thought perhaps maybe. And so together with my husband, we went and tested, like, oh, surprise, surprise, here we are.
Yeah.
We are expecting. I didn't expect the things that would follow next.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you instantly think, oh, now you're going to be just looking amazing. Everyone is going to be like, oh, you look so nice.
Right.
But I started losing weight. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't keep anything down. I kept vomiting and vomiting. And I thought, you know what? No, it's not supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
And someone told me, you know what, it's normal.
It's normal.
You're just pregnant.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Plus, we're African women. I
You
mean,
can
I'm
handle
African.
it, right?
You're not, you know, you should be able to just get things together and get up.
Yeah.
And I tried. But the most I could do was get into the shower,
Yeah.
come out, I'm drained. I couldn't. The rest of everything else had to be helped. I had to be helped.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first one was okay. So after that, the first trimester was pretty hard. I still vomited until the end of the pregnancy, every single time. But somehow, every time I threw up, I was able to now eat. But I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
But throughout, the second pregnancy, however, again like clockwork, at 5 weeks, just like the other pregnancy, I got to know that I'm pregnant because of vomiting. And you know what? This time I was prepared. I mean, I just know what I'll do. I'll go to the chemist.
Huh?
Yeah, you know, like I've been here before. I got this. So I went to the chemist. I knew what to stock up on, no sick and all these others. And hyperemesis gravidarum said, joke on you. You thought you knew me? I am here to show you.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, none of those things worked.
Yeah.
And it was a very difficult pregnancy.
Yeah.
Suffered through, wasn't able to go anywhere, wasn't able to do anything. In fact, the first trimester was so bad.
Yeah.
I just stayed in bed. The second trimester is when I was at least able to even go to hospital for my first clinic at about 5 months. And then it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. Okay. And I like the fact that we're saying, you know, before you thought I can handle it. See, some people have been here, you know, gone through it, done that, they're okay. So really, what's different, you know, about it? And then everything changes and you're like, hey, okay, I was not prepared. So Dr. I want to bring you in. Number one, the whole question about, first of all, I didn't even know I was pregnant, right? And I read somewhere, although this is like a very rare case where some people might not even know that they're pregnant until 9 months, like they're going into labor, they're going to deliver a baby, and they're like, what is happening, right? And then something else is based on their stories. The first trimester was, whew, you know? I mean, for Elizabeth, you said, you know, the whole pregnancy for your first one, especially, you know, vomited all through. But what is it about the first trimester that is just unbearable for some people?
Okay. So when you get pregnant, your body has to be prepared.
Okay.
And this preparation actually starts every month after ovulation.
Yeah.
Your body assumes you might get pregnant and your body starts undergoing some changes in preparation for that, including your boobs getting a bit bigger. And that's why people get a bit of soreness and tender boobs in the last half of their menses.
Okay.
So once you get pregnant, your entire body literally changes from your skin to your internal organs in preparation for pregnancy, because it's not an easy feat.
True.
And therefore, even as the hormones adjust, because there are those hormones that sort of sustain the pregnancy that are sort of different from the time that you're not pregnant. Some of these hormones, they mean well to keep the pregnancy, but it causes some changes in your body that can cause devastating symptoms. And one of them, as Liz says, is hyperemesis or excessive vomiting of pregnancy. Just because the hormone that is supposed to sort of keep the uterus all quiet until the very end when you go into labor also affects even your digestive system, making it a bit lazy, and therefore you end up with a lot of gas, bloating, constipation, heartburns, and nausea and vomiting.
A lot of women complain of the same.
So even your entire senses, they're changed. You're very sensitive to smell, very sensitive to taste, even noise. That people, even noise makes them throw up, you know. A sight of things you're passing on the street, just seeing something on TV, it makes you throw up. The people who, it's the smell of it. So your body just changes entirely.
Wait, so this whole thing about seeing someone and feel like throwing up, it's true. I mean, I remember we used to hear those stories a long time ago, and I'm like, maybe they just don't like this person, but no.
Well, there's also the dislike bit, which also can come up just and heighten because of the hormones. But yeah, it does happen.
It can happen.
Social grace.
And I have a friend, and I tell people this story all the time, where she actually came to my place, and you know, she said she could not stay home because her husband and the second child smelled like gold. So she's like, yeah, I can't stay there.
That's terrible.
Right? But like you said, sometimes it's beyond you. You really can't help it. Okay, so for Eve, first of all, I found out that you're pregnant after 3 months, right? But you did not know that you were carrying twins.
No.
Okay, let's just go back. So at what point then did you find out that you were carrying twins? And what was the explanation behind that?
Okay, so you see, first of all, like the way Doctor has said, when some people experience their smell evasions when you're pregnant and you have this heightened sense of smell, when, in fact, for me, if I was in a room and someone walks in and they have this, they're wearing a certain perfume, I literally vomit and throw up. So I experienced that, and I also had the nausea and vomiting part of it throughout the day. So I couldn't eat anything. I even lost weight, and you could literally see my cheekbones. I lost weight completely. And there's a point I was vomiting until I started vomiting the stomach acid as well. So it was that bad. I couldn't even drink water. I started drinking water, I think, the second trimester. I couldn't take anything. So after that, now that is after 3 months, the first trimester, after 3 months, the first trimester, I traveled a lot, though it is say that when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to. But I couldn't help it because we had some things that we needed to do up country. So there's a time, I think the 3rd month, I noticed that I was bleeding. Yeah, and it was not spotting. You see, when you're pregnant, you're told like, for pregnant women, you can either have implantation bleeding or not. So it is 50-50. So for me, I was bleeding. It wasn't, I can't call that spotting. It was bleeding because I was using panty liners, and I would change that like thrice a day. So it got me worried at some point, but again, I was like, okay, maybe this is implantation bleeding because it was my first pregnancy. I wasn't sure about it. So it went on for like 3 days, and I was okay after that. So funny thing is that I didn't go to the hospital then. I waited until I traveled back to Nairobi because I hadn't started my I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, so when I came back to Nairobi, I went to the hospital, and now that's the time I started going for the clinic. So I went to see the doctor, and I was like, I want to be checked because I noticed that I was bleeding for like 3 days. It wasn't spotting. So the doctor told me maybe it's the placenta, maybe it has ruptured. So they advised me to go for a scan. So when I went for a scan, so when I was there, the first 5 minutes through the procedure, I was lying there, and the doctor was checking. That the doctor was like, okay, the baby is okay. And I want to tell you, congratulations, you are carrying twins. And I'm like, okay. What? Twins, where did that come from? Yeah. And before I got pregnant, I was a high fashion model. So I had this petite, very slim body.
You're tiny.
Like, I was so tiny. I was like, twins, how? Like, if I look at my family background, sijaisikia twins anywhere. And even for my hubby, hakuna twins. So I was holding my head also. Like, I didn't believe that. But for him, he was so excited, and he was capturing the moment. So that's when I realized, and that's when I got the news that I'm carrying twins. Yeah, but before that, I remember my sister was like, your bump is too big.
It's only 3 months, but it's like all the way up there.
Yeah, it's all the way up there. Are you carrying twins? I'm like, twins, so that, and also when I was having this vomiting and feeling nauseated, I was like, okay, so this one baby is giving me this, like I'm getting the stress of my life. So what if I was carrying twins? Of course, I know that wasn't possible. But I was asking myself so many questions. What if I was carrying twins? So I didn't know. So that's how I found out that I was carrying twins.
Okay. And then the way they were conceived, not the way they were conceived, but the duration of part, right? It's very interesting. Do you want to tell us about it? Okay,
so when the doctor was doing the scan and everything, he was like, they are 5 days apart. Okay, I have never understood that until today, how that is possible. Like, they were 5 days apart. So it means one baby was conceived earlier, then the other one came
5 days later.
5 days later.
Doctor, is that
really?
That's what I was told.
It's not really true. Because how twin conception happens, there are 2 ways. It's either 2 eggs were fertilized differently, or 1 egg was fertilized and then it splits at different times, giving you different kind of twins. So most times, twin pregnancy is actually quite complicated, and the babies, one of the things they go through is that the growth is not really uniform. There are those ones who are a bit bigger than the other, just like any other children. They all don't grow in the same rate. So one may seem like they're 5 days behind, but it doesn't mean that they were conceived 5 days later. It's just the growth is a bit different. Or even the size of their weight is just a bit different. So it's not always same. This one is 400 grams.
This is interesting, because you know what? So they're both girls, but they're not identical.
They're not,
right? They're not. It is a very interesting concept. I still don't understand that. I think you're the medic in the house, so
Another interesting thing, Winnie, about them is that they were both 2.4 kgs when I gave back to them. So I don't.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
So
it's,
even the thing for identical, so they are only identical if they come from the same egg and the same sperm. That splits. But if it's different egg, different sperms, they'll be sharing, but they are fraternal or unidentical twins. And even in the same situation, they could be the same gender or different genders. So it's possible that they're both girls, but they're yes, exactly.
I mean, listen, pregnancy is just interesting. Let's take a break, absorb all those things. But of course, when we come back, Elizabeth would also want to understand. So your journey with HG. Right? And it's a lot because, again, you were on the moderate side, right? Yes. But again, can get so severe that we were talking about this earlier on, where you said sometimes you just have to terminate the pregnancy because it's really bad. And the fact that both of you said you could not keep anything down, you could not take water, you know, and all those things. What does this, you know, mean to the baby? Can this be fatal as well? Plus so many other interesting things about pregnancy, you know, and your journeys as well. But remember, like we're saying, the question is very easy. What weren't you told about pregnancy? That is what we want to find out on the show today, right here on Your World. So share your stories at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, or give us a call. Our lines are open. Would want to hear from you. Okay, so see you after the short break. I'll be reading more of your comments after the break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Of course, the show continues even during the break. And of course, it's all about pregnancy today. And we are going behind the bump, all right? Behind the beautiful photo shoots that you see online, behind, you know, how this person looks beautiful, pregnant, the glow, you know, and all those things. There's usually a story behind it. And that is what we are actually going to, okay? And just give you all the realities about pregnancy and also talk about some of the things that you were never told about pregnancy, right? My director, Diana, says, she was never told not to take advice from everybody else because literally everybody becomes a doctor, okay? And says one time she was wearing a trouser, alafu wakaambiwa nafinya mtoto. And I'm pretty sure we've had, you know, all those things. Unafinya mtoto, this or that, you don't wear heels, it's a whole lot of things, all right? So what weren't you told as far as pregnancy is concerned? There's someone on Twitter who says, this is actually a guy, I think, Shedi, okay, says pregnancy is all about history, not remembering how it came up, but still accepting the reality it's done, and we have to leave, move preparing for a newcomer to this unrelentless world. This is what the girlfriend told him, okay? So it's not about how it came, but what we're going to do moving forward. That's what I'm wondering, okay? And then someone else says that they were never told that there are physiological changes and can complicate any time. Again, which is true, a lot of things are happening. And then Nicholas Nyaga, still on Twitter, says he was never told that children are not bought, okay? But if you come from a certain generation, I'm pretty sure you had a lot of that. The children are bought from the supermarket and everybody, you know, or everywhere else. But again, keep sending your questions, comments, you know, on our socials at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, or you want to share your story, again, our lines are open, feel free to do so. But Elizabeth, so again, first pregnancy, bearable, second pregnancy, a lot. So you had, you know, let me just call it HG, but it's a lot, hyperemesis gravidarum, right? And of course, Dr. will tell us what that is and all those things. But yeah, for you, at what point did you know that this is what you're dealing with? Because like you said, you could not keep anything down because, you know, extreme vomiting and all those things. So at what point, like, did the name come about? Like, you knew this is exactly what, you know, I'm dealing with, other than just, you know, the normal vomiting, nausea, all those things?
I knew it was hyperemesis gravidarum when I went to the hospital and was admitted. Okay. And the doctor wrote, admitting you because of hyperemesis gravidarum. And I looked at it and I wondered.
First of all, the handwriting, were you even able to read that? Because, no, listen. And then it's like a big word.
It looked complicated, but then we asked, what did you just write? He said hyperemesis gravidarum, and it was almost like you should already know, and so now I'm going to just admit you and I will do this. Like, wait, what just happened? I just came here for normal clinic and it was my very first pregnancy.
Okay.
So I'm going to admit you, I'm going to put intravenous something on you, and okay, that's a shocker.
Yeah.
And with the second one, the same thing. Now I knew that this is what happens. Okay. So I did some research on it, and I heard that it could get worse with the subsequent pregnancy. But again, I was prepared. I mean, I got this. Yeah. So, but then unknown to me, the only thing that could contain hyperemesis gravidarum is some very expensive drugs. Which actually now helped me to not die, because I was literally on the brink of it. When you are not able to eat anything, when you think about eating because you're so hungry, you vomit. When you do not eat, it's a crime, you vomit. When you think about water, you vomit. You drink it, you vomit. Like it will not relent on anything. And it just kept on happening. It kept on happening. But I thank God that at one point I discovered, what do you call this, ice cubes. So that's what I was. I tried to hydrate with ice cubes. But then for someone who is used to taking room temperature water, now this caused chest issues. Oh, wow. Yes. And then because of the vomiting, I call it violent vomiting, because you think you're just going, oh, you're going to be cute and no. Oh my goodness. You go to vomit and it like comes from the gut, and you vomit any food that you had if you didn't eat. You now start vomiting bile from the stomach. The next thing you vomit blood. The next thing after that, you and the child, you're gone. It's very possible, and it's very easy for that to happen. And the first time might have been a little easier to deal with. The second one, no, it's you're dealing with a situation, and you have another child, and you have a family to take care of, and you have work to go to, and you have. It's a lot. Like you had said earlier about some women even thinking about getting rid of the pregnancy. It happens all the time. Happens all the time.
Yes. And Carrie, what exactly then brings about HG?
First of all, HG, what is it? So the name hyperemesis, emesis is a medical word. Is it even a medical? I think it's just English. That means vomiting. So hyper excessive. So hyperemesis is just literally excessive vomiting. Gravidarum is pregnancy. So the difference between that and the usual nausea and vomiting of pregnancy is that this one is extra. It's quite severe. It's on the higher side of things where you cannot keep anything down. And therefore it has some bit of even impact on your body weight. We have a cutoff around 5% of your pre-pregnancy weight. And you start losing some components of your blood things in urine as well. So once we see you, we take history, we examine you, and you fit the criteria, then now you are diagnosed with hyperemesis gravidarum. There are people who are prone to getting it compared to others. Sometimes it just comes without any risk factor behind the scenes, but sometimes there are risk factors, and one of them is people who are leaner. So if your BMI is small, you are more likely to get a hyperemesis gravidarum. If it's the first time you're pregnant, you're more likely to get it. If you have a history of it in the past, you're more likely to get it. If you're carrying twins, you're more likely to get it because of the excessive hormones. There's another condition in pregnancy called molar pregnancy. It also leads to a lot of production of the pregnancy hormones. If you have it, it also leads to excessive nausea and vomiting. If you have some medical condition like goiter or thyroid disease or diabetes, it can also make you get on the extra side of it, or even any ongoing infection like malaria, an infection in the kidneys, whichever, it can also lead to that. So there are things that sort of increase the risk of you getting it, but sometimes really there is nothing.
There's nothing
You're
that
just
can be attributed to.
and also family history. Some people, if your mother or your sister doctors get it, probably you're going to get it. Yeah. Or if you're someone who, before pregnancy, you get a lot of nausea with car sickness, you know, you're in a lift, you feel like retching, you know, you're more likely to get hyperemesis gravidarum as well.
Wait, is there anything that you can do as you prepare for pregnancy? I mean, I know that those instances where you don't know that you're pregnant, maybe, you know, and all those things. But for people who are preparing for pregnancy, are there things that you can do to maybe like keep it at bay or reduce the intensity?
Yeah, so if you take multivitamins, actually it can help.
It can help.
And we usually recommend that you take folic acid before you even conceive, when you're trying to conceive and into your first trimester. So people who have been on that, they tend to have a lower rate of. So you can try and start on it if you're considering getting pregnant. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And we were talking about this earlier on, where you said it can get severe up to that level where again you have to terminate the pregnancy, or other organs might be affected as well, like kidneys and whatnot.
Yes. So nausea and vomiting, the main issue here is the vomiting. Because you are losing a lot of fluids from your body when you're throwing up, and the fact that you're not putting anything back in, it means you're just going on the negative, you know, loss after loss. And she rightly said, sometimes just because of the retching and the force, it causes corrosion in your food pipe, which can cause you to vomit blood even. So for some people that can even cause an ulcer in the food pipe, and you lose a lot of blood as well. So that extra fluid loss and the fact that you can't replenish it orally can lead to damage in your organs. And the main one that suffers the heat is actually the kidneys. So you can even end up with a kidney failure because of that. And sometimes it can even cause damage in your brain. There are people who end up with confusion, they can't speak well, they have posture and even movements are affected, memory losses and things like that. So it can really get severe. And we try our best sometimes to treat it. First of all, we just try to, I'm sure maybe you were told, to just adjust your lifestyle. There are some lifestyle changes that we recommend. Make sure your tummy is not empty. So don't be hungry and don't be full. Neither be hungry nor full. So because extremes of either lead to nausea and vomiting. So we say that you eat very small portions, but frequent, like every hour or every 2 hours you're eating something. What is it that you
eat? Because even water, she talked about just thinking about taking water, and even for her as well. You just can't. So
the point is to do this before it gets to that extreme, where even the thought of water itself makes you throw up. So you try to eat small frequent meals, and then try to avoid things that are generally triggering. So that includes fatty foods, spicy foods, hot foods that have an aroma, being in a humid room, a hot room. You know, sometimes you need just people to help you in the kitchen because you cannot be there because of the warmth and the closeness of the whole situation. So we try to tell you, do these lifestyle changes, adjust your food intake, even the fluids that you take. Cold is better than warm or room temperature. So we say drink things from the fridge instead of just taking anything anyhowly. So if those ones don't work, then you may need medication. And we start again with the oral ones. If the oral ones don't help, then it means you get IV, and that means admission. That means admission. And even for IV, there are sort of step by step where we try this. If it fails, you go to the other one. If it fails, you go to the other one and the next. There are not many, but there are quite several options that you can consider. And if it comes to us, then sometimes you have to recommend actually termination of the pregnancy, because then it becomes more of a risk to you being pregnant. And you can die. So we can actually recommend termination of pregnancy.
And we hope that nobody really gets there. Elizabeth, you're able to push through. Ice. So you survived on what?
Ice and bland foods.
Ice and bland foods.
Yes, it had to be anything that could be put on a pan. Pan fried. So it would be githeri or some cereals like njahe or boiled groundnuts that now could be put. Don't put anything else, just some salt. And that was it. That was it. But the vomiting, as Daktari has said, other organs being affected. My teeth got corroded because of that, and I had to go to the dentist immediately after pregnancy, because then you see, then when pregnant, you can't get some things done. So It does come with many. It's a lot.
Let me tell you, hands up to all the women and mothers because it's a lot. Okay, can we talk about something else? That is what cravings. Okay. I had another doctor say cravings are not normal. You're not supposed to have cravings at all during pregnancy. So I don't know whether that's true or not. But if you used to take a lot of pepper, a lot, okay, before pregnancy. But let's just talk about your cravings. What is it that you wanted the most? What would happen if you did not have it? Or did you even, maybe didn't have like as bad cravings?
No, I didn't. Because you see, before I got pregnant, I had H. pylori. So that was H. pylori plus hyperemesis combined. So you can imagine when you have H. pylori, you vomit a lot. Now plus hyperemesis. So it wasn't easy for me. So I don't think I craved for anything. Like for Elizabeth, during my last trimester, I used to take lots of ice cold water. And you talked about meats, and one of the myths that I was told about taking ice cold water is that you'll give birth to babies who have cold and mucus 24/7 because of taking ice cold water. But that's what I could take. Like I could feel, at least
it's something you can keep.
Because I wouldn't say I had cravings. No,
at all.
At least the third trimester I could eat something. But cravings, no.
No. Okay. Listen, there's this story, I read it a couple of years ago, and this lady said, Moshia bus station, Yagari. So she would wake up in the morning, go to a bus station and just stay there and inhale the smoke. That is all she wanted. Okay, and then when she felt she's had enough, she went back home. So yeah, I don't know if that's normal or not. But Elizabeth, since you could not give anything down or eat anything, was there that one thing or two that maybe you really wanted? Not because you can keep it down, but because the baby wanted.
Just anything to survive, actually. I don't think I had anything that I want. It was, even if I would have wanted anything, I still wouldn't have been able to eat. So here we are eating because we have to eat, see the next day. And it was always a day at a time. A day at a time. You're looking at your weeks. 34. You wake up the next week, the very next day, like it's still 34 in the day too. Like, we are not yet there. Like, how many more weeks? Like, is this thing a whole year? Because it's a lot. It is a lot. But anything, whatever it is that you can find that is going to stay, that is what you take.
Dr. Are cravings normal or not?
Well, they are. They are. They go hand in hand with aversions.
Okay.
So there are people who hate, and most people will hate something or two when they're pregnant, whether it's smell or noise or food or whatever. And they go hand in hand with something that you prefer. Maybe it's not the extreme of really craving. There are people who they'll wake up you at 3 a.m. get me this.
Maembe, lychee,
so maybe the degree varies from person to person, but there are people who prefer certain foods more than the other. And sometimes we take advantage of that, especially with hyperemesis. So that whatever you crave for or whatever you feel you can tolerate, that's what you go for.
It's not healthy.
So
like I crave ice cream all the time.
So control is important.
Okay.
Self-control is important because somehow people crave the worst of things. Right. It's always junk or non-food things, like smoke or is it soil, rocks, So you have to have sort of self-control and know that excess of something is not good for me. So taking ice cream all the time or fried chicken and fries and, all the junk things, unfortunately, they'll end up causing a lot of weight gain. And weight gain also comes with a lot of complications in pregnancy. So lazima ukwe na kiasi.
Right.
You
but
have
it's
to
the
have
baby. This time I do not have to. You can have control.
Baby might be innocent,
right? And at the same time, a lot of people would say, listen, I'm eating for two. Right? Because
well, that's a myth.
I I am carrying life inside me, so I have to eat food. That's not
true. You really, well, your calorie intake or your food intake sort of demands go high a bit, but it's not for two. It's just sufficient for you to meet your daily nutritional requirements. So eating for two is also, you're eating for three. You end up just gaining a lot of weight, honestly, which becomes hard to lose and comes with a lot of issues as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that whole narrative of eating for two or three, in her case, no. Just eat what you can.
It's enough.
Okay. I wanted to ask Dr. Ali something. You see, like now that you have hyperemesis and you keep on vomiting, you can't stomach anything. Does it affect the weight of the baby?
Yes, it does. Especially if it persists for the whole pregnancy. Most times by around week 14, week 16 there, it settles down. And second trimester is a walk in the park for many people. But unfortunately, there are those people who vomit throughout until the time of pushing the baby out. They vomit. So if it's persistent throughout your pregnancy, yes, it can cause low birth weight in the babies,
Okay. And for you, was it the first pregnancy or the second one that you vomited through?
The first one.
The first one.
Even the second one.
The better part of the scene. Man, so how was that? Because, right, you can't keep anything down, you're trying to eat. And then you talked about how this can also affect work because, again, you're calling in every day sick.
Yes.
Right? And then at the same time, some people would think this one just wants attention. You know, it's like when you're pregnant, so please eat. You know, and all those. Did you experience that? Where a lot of people think we are najifanya, they just want attention and all those things.
And how about friend loss? Let's even go there, because now everyone wants this event. Can we go? No, I can't. If they come and see you, you are so dehydrated and so down and so depressed. Let's even talk about being depressed throughout the entire length of the pregnancy, because that was me with my second. Because I couldn't. It was just so much. But you literally your life comes to a halt. And that's what happened for me. The only good thing for me is that I'm in ministry and we sort of work from home quite a lot. So I was able to just stay home. But the loss of friends, people try and call you, you can't even pick up the phone like she had said. You have certain aversions. Even picking up the phone might be a big deal. So my phone would be on flight mode. I'll probably go check messages and then come back, and then it was a very lonely journey. I'm going to put it that way. Very, very lonely. And there are people who have lost jobs, lost even spouses, because people around you don't even know how to help. But I think the biggest thing for me was support. And knowing that someone can hear me out and say, I understand. That alone would push you for the next, Because anyone else would just dismiss it and say, she's just being Elizabeth. You know, she's just, she's being diva here, you know.
But no.
And it's not that, it's a real issue. It's something that I'm really dealing with. And
I mean, and look what came of it, you know, two beautiful babies, two beautiful, you know, babies as well. And I do not want to put you on the spot and say, knowing what you know now, would you? We're not going to do that. But again, we literally have, like 3 more minutes, maybe Diana, if you're gracious, maybe like others, like 2 or 1. But looking at your babies right now, and comparing that to the entire journey, because again, like you said, you were able to pick yourself up after, you know, the first trimester, so the second one, and then throughout the third. And fun fact, her babies were the first babies I ever held, like 25 minutes after they were born. So it's like, so beautiful babies, you know, and I mean, we can say the journey was worth it at the end of the day, right? But knowing what you know now, what would you say like the journey was, and looking at your babies and, you know, the motivation that you get behind them and all those things? What is it that you will tell, you know, women who are preparing to get pregnant, who want to get pregnant at some point? What is it that you'll tell them?
Okay, right now when I look at my babies, I feel so blessed.
Yeah.
And I also remember, let me take you back a little bit. I remember my 6th month when I was pregnant, the 6th month, I experienced the Braxton Hicks contractions, the false labor. It was so painful. And I thought, like, this is it. The babies are coming. I was feeling tightening and pressure on my abdomen. So I was so scared at that particular point, but thank God they came at 35 weeks, still late prem. But the good thing is that they weren't put in the nursery, so I thank God for that. So I look at them and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Like, this is just wonderful. But thinking about having...
I know we always ask you this. But okay.
I know someone will come back later and get back to me like, you see,
you
you're not
said.
ready. No. Okay, truth be told, not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, but never say never. Listen. You'll be fine. It'll be okay. All right, so what is it that you tell, you know, women who are planning to get pregnant, maybe want to get pregnant someday?
Okay, I think for any pregnant woman or any woman who is looking forward to getting pregnant, you always have you always have that perception bit of it, how you want your pregnancy to be. In case you get pregnant and things change, just be strong. And if you have a very strong support system, then it's going to help your journey, pregnancy journey. So you know, it can turn out to be different for some people, but don't worry. Just be there with your God, just pray and just relax. I know it's hard.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey.
Okay,
so
I like that.
Just keep praying, and everything will turn out
be
to be
okay.
well.
Okay, I like that. Elizabeth, 2 pregnancies, more or less the same experience, one a little bit more intense than the other. What would you say?
I am the champion for babies.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's have more babies. I wouldn't mind going back.
You said you like labor.
I do. Oh my goodness. For me, the experience of pregnancy is so difficult that I'm just looking forward to labor. And as difficult and as close to insanity and intense as it is, I want it because once we are done, I can eat whatever I want. I can have water as much as I want.
You can have your food.
Yes. We, as the Hyperemesis Gravidarum Foundation Africa, as the organization, we also have HG Warriors, which is a support group for women who have gone through hyperemesis and those who are currently going through hyperemesis. So I'm glad that there's a sisterhood where we can support each other and go through these things. And like, this is somewhere where you can say, I felt like I want to abort the baby, and we won't go like Riswa. Did you even think? Do you know what the Lord says about? They're like, no, we actually get it. We understand, but just hold on, keep that baby. And we are going to get through this together.
I like that. I like that. All right, and Dr. in closing, for someone who is preparing to get pregnant or want to get pregnant, and after listening everything that we've had today, thinking, well, okay, what is it that you will tell them in terms of like preparation maybe, and even during the pregnancy, you know, the ups and downs and all those things? I know it's a lot, but in like 45 seconds before Diana kicks it out.
Okay, so for those ones who are preparing to get pregnant, preconception care is something that I really recommend. So go to the doctor, have a chat, see how you can prepare, how best to really prepare for pregnancy. There are many things that can be done before pregnancy to prevent even not just hyperemesis, but many other things that can occur. Once you test positive, start the journey. It's really transformational, even in terms of lifestyle and preparation, both financial, family, housing, and all that. So start the journey early enough. Identify people to support you, to work with you, and that includes also the medical fraternity. Seek help, because there's always help available.
Absolutely.
So seek help.
Seek help. Okay. And I'm just going to say pregnancy is a beautiful thing. This is me motivating myself. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful journey. But thank you very much, Dr. Joanne Okebo, consultant obstetrician pediatrician gynecologist at Aga Khan University Hospital, Elizabeth Franklin, founder Hyperemesis Gravidarum Foundation Africa, and of course, last but not least, Apondi Eve, who's a journalist and a content creator, and my friend. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming by today. Such an insightful conversation. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of like new things here and there, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's just say that pregnancy is a good thing. Let's bring forth babies, like Elizabeth says. But I hope you've learned a lot from today's conversation. Then allow me to read just 1 or 2 comments. So Vladimir Seth Oburu says, I was not told that the baby could feel like eating avocado na coke lita moja at 2 a.m. Sema kuamsha mama mboga usiku kama mchawi. Okay. And then someone says, last one says, this is Terry Osholi says that a full-term pregnancy is up to 10 months and not 9 months. Okay, let's just close it at that. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week on Monday. So enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and God bless. Goodbye for now.